Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Welcome to Frema Audiobooks, your go-to spot for inspiring audiobooks that can transform your mindset and your life. Today, we're diving into the timeless classic Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, a book that teaches powerful lessons about money, investing, and financial freedom. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss an audiobook. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like, comment, and share. Your support helps us bring more life-changing content straight to you. Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad isn't just a book about money, it's a masterclass in mindset. He grew up with two father figures, his biological father, the poor dad, who followed the traditional path of working hard, saving, and believing that education alone would lead to success. And his best friend's father, the rich dad, who taught him lessons about money, investment, and financial intelligence that schools never teach. These two perspectives shaped Kiyosaki's understanding of wealth in a way that's both practical and transformative. The key idea? Money isn't earned solely by working harder. It's earned by learning to make money work for you. The poor dad mindset is about security, climbing the corporate ladder, and avoiding risk. The rich dad mindset is about opportunity, financial literacy, and using assets to generate income. Kiyosaki learned early that wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep, invest, and grow. And the fascinating part is, anyone can adopt the rich dad approach, no matter their background, income, or age. What makes Rich Dad, Poor Dad especially relatable is the storytelling. Kiyosaki shares lessons as a young boy navigating these two worlds, the rigid rules of the poor dad and the risk-taking, entrepreneurial mindset of the rich dad. He illustrates these lessons with examples, analogies, and principles you can start applying immediately. By the end of the book, you begin to see that building wealth isn't about luck or inheritance. It's about education, mindset, and action. As we go through this audiobook, think about your own financial education. Are you following the path of the poor dad, relying solely on a paycheck and hoping it lasts? Or are you learning the principles of the rich dad, finding ways to create passive income and making your money work for you? This book challenges the status quo, and in doing so, it challenges you to rethink everything you know about money. So let's dive in. Over the next chapters, we'll explore the key lessons of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, from understanding assets and liabilities to overcoming fear and taking control of your financial future. You'll hear the story, the examples, and the practical steps, all explained in a friendly, motivational tone, like having a conversation with someone who's been there and wants you to succeed. Chapter 1: Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the two minds about money. Robert Kiyosaki begins his story by contrasting two very different approaches to money through his two father figures. His biological father, the poor dad, was highly educated and followed a safe path: get good grades, secure a steady job, work hard, and retire comfortably. On the surface, this seems ideal. But despite his dedication, the poor dad struggled financially, stressed about bills, and lived paycheck to paycheck. He represented the traditional mindset most of us inherit, that hard work and education alone guarantee financial security. Then there was the rich dad, his friend's father, who was a self-made entrepreneur. He didn't have a fancy degree, but he understood money in a way that the poor dad never could. He taught Kiyosaki lessons about assets, liabilities, investments, and entrepreneurship, concepts that schools never touch. The rich dad believed in financial education, taking calculated risks, and using money as a tool to create more money. He showed that your mindset around money can either trap you in scarcity or free you to grow wealth. Kiyosaki illustrates this with a personal story. As a boy, he asked both fathers how to make money. The poor dad replied, "Study hard and get a secure job." The rich dad replied, "Learn how money works and how to make it work for you." That difference in advice shaped his future. One approach teaches dependence on a paycheck. The other teaches independence and leverage. It's a subtle but profound distinction, one that most people never notice until it's too late. The lesson here is that education alone is not enough. Kiyosaki's poor dad valued academic success and security, but he lacked financial intelligence. His rich dad valued learning about money, risk, and opportunity. That mindset, prioritizing financial literacy over mere income, is what separates people who are truly wealthy from those who struggle despite working hard. It's not about how much you earn, but what you do with what you earn. Challenge number 1. Start seeing money differently. Kiyosaki invites us to examine our beliefs about money. Do you view money as something to earn and spend, or as a tool to grow, invest, and create freedom? Begin noticing your financial habits. Track where your money goes. Identify your assets versus liabilities. And start asking yourself, am I following the mindset of my poor dad or my rich dad? Recognizing which mindset you've inherited is the first step to changing it. Finally, think about your future. Most people follow the path of their poor dad without even realizing it. They climb the corporate ladder, pay off debts, and hope for retirement security. But by learning from the rich dad perspective, you see that wealth isn't about luck. It's about education, mindset, and deliberate action. Kiyosaki challenges you to choose your approach consciously and to start learning financial principles that will serve you for life. The journey to financial freedom begins with understanding this fundamental difference in mindset. Chapter 2. The Importance of Financial Education. Why School Doesn't Teach Money. One of the biggest revelations Robert Kiyosaki shares is that schools prepare you to be an employee, not an investor or entrepreneur. He points out a harsh truth. Financial education is rarely taught in the classroom. You learn math, science, history, and literature, but nothing about taxes, investments, assets, liabilities, or how to make money work for you. This gap leaves most people unprepared for the real world of finance, forcing them to rely on paychecks, credit, and hope rather than strategy and knowledge. Kiyosaki calls this the difference between being financially literate and financially blind. He explains that financial education isn't just about understanding numbers. It's about understanding money itself, how it flows, and how it multiplies. Knowing the difference between an asset and a liability is foundational. Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out. Many people believe their house is an asset, but Kiyosaki challenges that notion, showing that a home can be a liability if it drains your finances with mortgage, taxes, and maintenance. Real wealth comes from accumulating assets that generate income, not liabilities that consume it. Kiyosaki emphasizes that financial literacy is a skill, one that can be learned, practiced, and improved over time. Just like any other skill, it requires attention, study, and repetition. The rich dad approach is to constantly expand your knowledge about investments, taxes, businesses, and financial strategies. Unlike traditional education, this learning is ongoing, hands-on, and practical. It teaches you not just how to make money, but how to keep it, grow it, and make it work for you. He shares a powerful example from his own life. As a young boy, he and his friend built a small business selling comic books and candy. They learned negotiation, profit calculation, and customer management, lessons no school could provide. These early experiments gave him confidence and insight into how money operates, planting seeds for his future financial independence. Kiyosaki makes it clear that education alone will never make you rich. It's how you use that education to act that counts. Challenge. Number A. Commit to learning about money. Kiyosaki urges listeners to start their own financial education immediately. Read books, attend seminars, track investments, and experiment with small-scale ventures. Ask questions like, where is my money going? What assets can I acquire? How can I make my money work harder for me? The more you educate yourself, the less you remain a passive participant in the financial system, and the more you start making conscious decisions that grow wealth over time. Finally, remember this: the world rewards those who understand how money works, not just those who work for money. Kiyosaki's rich dad knew that financial literacy opens doors that effort alone cannot. By committing to learn, take risks, and apply knowledge, you're setting yourself apart from the majority who follow the traditional path blindly. Financial education is the first step toward freedom, independence, and the life you choose, not the life dictated by a paycheck. Chapter 3. Mind your own business. Focus on assets, not just income. One of the most transformative lessons Kiyosaki teaches is the importance of focusing on your own business, not just your job. Most people spend their lives working for someone else, trading time for money, and thinking that a paycheck is the key to wealth. But as Kiyosaki points out, true financial growth comes from building and owning assets, things that generate income even when you're not actively working. Your job might pay the bills, but your assets create freedom, opportunity, and security. Kiyosaki illustrates this with a personal story. While he worked at a job early in his career, he was simultaneously building small businesses and investing in real estate. He treated these ventures as his business within the business, focusing on learning and creating assets that would pay him over time. He emphasizes that your own business doesn't necessarily mean a corporation. It could be investments, rental properties, intellectual property, or any other income-generating asset. The key is that it produces cash flow, rather than merely consuming your time. He contrasts this mindset with the poor dad approach, where people focus only on climbing the corporate ladder, earning promotions, and securing benefits. While that path can provide stability, it rarely leads to financial independence. By focusing on your own business and building assets, you're essentially creating multiple streams of income that work for you 24/7. Kiyosaki stresses that wealth is not about how much you earn in a paycheck, but how much your assets earn for you. Kiyosaki also warns against confusion between liabilities and assets. Many people think they are acquiring assets, like a fancy car, a bigger house, or luxury goods, when in reality, these are liabilities, taking money out of your pocket. True assets are things that put money in your pocket, such as investments, businesses, or properties that generate income. The sooner you focus on acquiring real assets, the faster you build financial freedom, regardless of how much you earn at your day job. Challenge. #3. Start building assets today. Kiyosaki encourages you to examine your spending and identify opportunities to acquire assets. Could you invest in stocks, real estate, or a side business? Could you create intellectual property, build skills that generate passive income, or participate in ventures that grow over time? Begin shifting your focus from earning a paycheck to acquiring assets that work for you. Even small steps compound. A few smart moves now can lead to substantial wealth later. Finally, remember this: the secret to financial independence is not working harder for someone else. It's working smarter for yourself. Your paycheck can stabilize your life, but your assets will free it. Kiyosaki's rich dad knew that the real wealth building begins when you stop focusing solely on income and start minding your own business. That shift in mindset is the bridge between financial struggle and financial freedom. Chapter 4. The History of Taxes and the Power of Corporations. How the rich use systems to their advantage. One of the lessons that surprises most people is how much the wealthy leverage systems to grow and protect their money. Kiyosaki explains that understanding taxes and corporations is a key part of financial education, something schools rarely teach. He contrasts his two dads' approaches. The poor dad worked hard, earned a paycheck, and paid taxes first, while the rich dad built businesses and assets that allowed him to legally reduce tax liabilities, keep more money in his pocket, and reinvest it to grow wealth. Kiyosaki dives into history, showing that taxes were originally imposed on income and profits, but over time, corporations gained powerful legal protections. The rich learn to create structures that let them earn income while minimizing taxes. This isn't cheating, it's knowledge and strategy. They use corporations to protect assets, defer taxes, and maximize returns. Meanwhile, most employees remain outside these systems, earning income that is immediately taxed and often spent on liabilities instead of investments. Understanding this difference is crucial if you want to escape the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. He illustrates the point with real-life examples. Many people think they're smart because they earn a high salary, but a large portion is lost to taxes and expenses, leaving them financially vulnerable. On the other hand, a business owner or investor who understands corporate and tax systems can earn less in gross income, but accumulate far more wealth due to the compounding power of untaxed or tax-advantaged income. This is one of the key reasons the wealthy get richer, while the poor and middle class struggle despite working harder. Kiyosaki emphasizes that knowledge is the ultimate tool. By learning how taxes work, how corporations operate, and how to use legal structures to your advantage, you take control of your financial life. You stop being a passive participant and start actively designing your wealth strategy. This requires learning, asking questions, and seeking advice, not just working harder or earning more. The rich dad mindset is always about leveraging knowledge to create opportunity. Challenge number 4. Learn the rules and use them. Kiyosaki encouraged listeners to start educating themselves about taxes, corporations, and financial strategies. Understand the incentives, legal protections, and systems available to investors and business owners. Even if you don't start a corporation tomorrow, the knowledge alone changes your perspective. You begin thinking in terms of assets, protection, and long-term wealth. Knowledge is leverage, and leverage is power. Finally, remember this. The rules aren't fair, but they are learnable and usable. The poor dad mindset waits to be taxed, while the rich dad mindset structures life to make money work efficiently and legally for you. By mastering the systems, you position yourself for financial growth that goes beyond income alone. Understanding this principle is one of the foundational steps to creating true financial freedom. Chapter 5. The rich invent money. Opportunities are everywhere. One of the most empowering lessons Kiyosaki teaches is that the wealthy create opportunities instead of waiting for them. Most people believe that financial success comes from luck, inheritance, or being in the right place at the right time. But the rich dad mindset understands something fundamental. Money is attracted to ideas, creativity, and action. You don't need a huge salary or a perfect economy to build wealth. You need financial literacy, courage, and a willingness to act when opportunities appear. Kiyosaki tells stories of his early experiences where he learned to spot potential where others saw risk or impossibility. As a young boy, he and his friends started small ventures, from selling comic books to small real estate deals. These experiments taught him that money flows to those who see solutions, take initiative, and solve problems. The key takeaway: financial opportunity is rarely about chance. It's about education, vision, and boldness. He emphasizes that fear and cynicism are the biggest obstacles to creating money. Most people see risk and retreat, believing they are protecting themselves. But the wealthy see risk as a puzzle, a problem to solve, or a doorway to opportunity. Kiyosaki's rich dad constantly pushed him to think creatively, to take calculated risks, and to seek out investments or ventures where others saw only obstacles. That mindset, seeing money where others see fear, is what allows wealth to be generated again and again. Kiyosaki also points out that money is abundant if you know how to create it. The poor and middle class often believe in scarcity, that there's only so much to go around. But the rich invent money by leveraging assets, investments, partnerships, and innovation. You don't need more luck. You need the ability to recognize, evaluate, and act on opportunities before they disappear. It's a proactive, not reactive, approach to wealth. Challenge number 5. Start inventing money. Kiyosaki encourages you to take small steps today. Look around for ways to create value. Can you start a side hustle, invest in assets, or solve a problem that others ignore? Write down ideas, research possibilities, and take action. Even small experiments expand your financial thinking and show you how wealth is created through creativity, knowledge, and courage, not just hard work or waiting for luck. Finally, remember this. The wealthy don't wait for money to fall into their laps. They invent it, attract it, and grow it through ingenuity and action. By learning to see opportunities where others see limitations, you begin to think like your rich dad, and the path to financial freedom becomes clearer, actionable, and exciting. Wealth is not a mystery, it's a skill, and you can develop it. Chapter 6. Work to learn, don't work for money. One of the most counterintuitive lessons Kiyosaki shares is this: don't work solely for a paycheck, work to learn. Most people take jobs based on salary, benefits, or security, trading their time for money. While that may pay the bills, it rarely builds wealth or long-term financial freedom. The rich dad mindset, however, focuses on skill acquisition, knowledge, and experience. Every job, project, or challenge is an opportunity to learn something valuable that increases your financial intelligence. Kiyosaki emphasizes that the skills you acquire, whether in sales, leadership, communication, or understanding business systems, can be leveraged to create assets and income streams. For example, working in sales teaches negotiation, persuasion, and customer psychology. Working in finance teaches money management, investment strategies, and risk evaluation. When you focus on learning rather than just earning, your value multiplies over time, giving you options that a paycheck alone cannot provide. He shares a story from his early career. Kiyosaki deliberately took jobs in areas he wanted to understand, even if they didn't pay well. He worked in sales, marketing, and accounting, learning skills he could later apply to his own ventures and investments. While others were satisfied with higher pay and stagnant roles, he was investing in himself, building the tools he would need to generate wealth independently. This mindset is a cornerstone of financial freedom. Working to learn compounds over time, while working only for money plateaus quickly. Kiyosaki also highlights the importance of diverse experiences. Rather than sticking to one skill or field, he encouraged people to explore multiple areas, learn broadly, and connect knowledge in creative ways. The more skills you have, the more options you create for generating income and building assets. This is what separates the financially literate from the paycheck dependent, the ability to see the big picture and leverage learning into tangible wealth. Challenge number 6. Prioritize learning over earning. Take stock of your current work and ask, what am I learning? How can I gain new skills, knowledge, or experience that will make me more valuable in the future? Even if it means taking a lower-paying role temporarily, focus on acquiring skills that compound over a lifetime. Seek mentors, read, and expose yourself to challenges that stretch your abilities. Each lesson learned today becomes an investment in your financial independence tomorrow. Finally, remember this. Working to learn isn't about instant gratification, it's about long-term payoff. The rich dad mindset is patient, strategic, and growth-oriented. Money alone doesn't create wealth, but knowledge applied intelligently does. By focusing on learning, you are not just earning a paycheck. You are building the foundation for a lifetime of financial freedom, independence, and opportunity. Chapter 7. Overcoming obstacles, facing fear, cynicism, and laziness. One of the most important lessons Robert Kiyosaki teaches is that obstacles are inevitable, but they can be overcome if you confront them with the right mindset. Fear, cynicism, laziness, and bad habits are what stop most people from building wealth, even when they have knowledge or opportunities. The rich dad mindset doesn't eliminate these obstacles, but it equips you to face them head-on, learn from them, and use them as stepping stones toward financial freedom. Kiyosaki emphasizes fear as the primary barrier. Fear of losing money, fear of failure, and fear of taking risks can paralyze people into inaction. The poor dad mindset often responds to fear by playing it safe, avoiding risks, and waiting for stability that may never come. The rich dad mindset, on the other hand, views fear as a signal, a chance to learn, prepare, and grow stronger. Kiyosaki encourages us to feel the fear but act anyway, understanding that calculated risk is the path to opportunity. Cynicism is another major obstacle. Many people dismiss ideas or opportunities before even trying, saying, "It won't work for me," or "That's too risky." Kiyosaki calls this mental laziness disguised as wisdom. Rich dad approach is to question, investigate, and take action based on knowledge rather than assumptions. By challenging your own cynicism, you open yourself to opportunities that others overlook, giving you an edge in wealth creation and personal growth. Laziness and procrastination also hold people back. Kiyosaki notes that waiting for motivation or perfect conditions is a trap. The rich dad mindset focuses on discipline, persistence, and execution. It's not about being perfect. It's about doing something every day that moves you closer to financial independence. Even small steps, reading about money, investing a little, networking, compound over time into extraordinary results. Action beats intention every time. Challenge number 7. Face your obstacles today. Kiyosaki urges you to identify the fears, cynicism, and habits that are holding you back. Write them down. Confront them honestly. Then take one deliberate step to overcome each obstacle. Maybe it's making a small investment, starting a side project, or learning a new skill. The key is to act despite discomfort, proving to yourself that you are capable of pushing through. Every challenge you overcome builds confidence, experience, and momentum. Finally, remember this: obstacles are opportunities in disguise. Each fear faced, each act of discipline, each step through discomfort strengthens your financial intelligence and your resilience. The poor dad sees obstacles as reasons to stop. The rich dad sees them as reasons to learn and grow. By embracing this mindset, you transform what once held you back into a launchpad for success and start building the financial future you truly want. Chapter 8. Getting started. Take action, focus, and commit. One of the most practical lessons Kiyosaki emphasizes is that knowledge alone is useless without action. You can read countless books, attend seminars, and understand all the financial principles in the world, but if you never take steps to apply what you learn, your life won't change. The rich dad mindset is all about moving from learning to doing, taking deliberate steps every day toward building assets and achieving financial freedom. Kiyosaki highlights the importance of focus. Many people know what they want but fail to act consistently. They jump from one idea to another, chasing trends or following advice without strategy. The rich dad approach is to focus on clear goals and take consistent, intelligent action toward them. Whether it's starting a small business, investing in real estate, or developing a skill, focus ensures that your energy compounds rather than dissipates. Small, deliberate steps build momentum over time. Commitment is another key principle. Kiyosaki explains that financial freedom is a long-term journey, and it requires persistence. You will face setbacks, mistakes, and even failures along the way. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is refusal to quit. Committing fully to learning, action, and growth ensures that you will continue moving forward, even when results aren't immediate. It's about adopting a mindset of endurance and resilience. He also emphasizes starting with what you have. Many people delay action because they feel they lack money, experience, or opportunity. Kiyosaki encourages using the resources at your disposal, your skills, knowledge, network, or even small amounts of capital to begin experimenting and learning. Taking action, no matter how small, provides feedback, builds confidence, and opens doors that waiting alone never will. Challenge. #8. Take the first step today. Kiyosaki invites you to identify one concrete action you can take immediately to move toward financial independence. It could be starting a savings plan, investing in an asset, creating a side business, or even educating yourself further in a targeted area. Write it down, commit to completing it, then take the next step. Momentum is built one deliberate action at a time, and the journey to financial freedom begins with this first intentional move. Finally, remember this: action turns knowledge into power. Focus transforms scattered effort into results. Commitment transforms obstacles into opportunities. The rich dad mindset isn't about perfection. It's about decisive, intelligent, and persistent action. Start today, and every step you take brings you closer to mastering your money, your mindset, and your life. Chapter 9. Still want more? Overcoming limitations and expanding your financial intelligence. Kiyosaki closes Rich Dad Poor Dad with a powerful reminder: financial education is a lifelong journey. Even after understanding assets, liabilities, corporations, and opportunity, the learning doesn't stop. The poor dad mindset is content with average results, believing that once a salary is secured, the work is done. The rich dad mindset, however, embraces continual growth, always seeking ways to expand knowledge, skills, and financial intelligence. This is what separates those who achieve true wealth from those who merely survive. He emphasizes that limitations are often self-imposed. Fear, laziness, cynicism, and societal conditioning convince people that financial freedom is unattainable. But Kiyosaki urges readers to challenge these beliefs. He shares examples of people who started with nothing, faced enormous obstacles, yet built wealth through persistence, creativity, and continual learning. The lesson is clear: your circumstances do not define your potential. Your mindset and actions do. Kiyosaki also introduces the concept of mentorship and networks. Surrounding yourself with financially intelligent, motivated people accelerates learning and exposes you to opportunities you might never find alone. Rich Dad taught him that seeking guidance, asking questions, and learning from others' experiences is far more effective than trying to figure everything out by trial and error. Expanding your network, therefore, becomes an essential part of expanding your financial intelligence. Another key principle he stresses is taking calculated risks. Waiting for perfect conditions or zero-risk situations is a trap. Kiyosaki encourages stepping into discomfort strategically, whether investing in a small property, starting a business, or exploring new markets. Each risk, when calculated and informed, is an opportunity to learn, grow, and increase wealth. The fear of failure diminishes when you see mistakes as lessons, not setbacks. Challenge number 9. Commit to lifelong financial learning. Kiyosaki challenges listeners to continuously educate themselves, take smart risks, and actively seek opportunities. Read books, attend seminars, network with knowledgeable people, and practice applying what you learn. Treat every failure as a lesson and every success as a stepping stone to greater achievement. Financial intelligence is not static. It grows the more you invest in it, and it compounds like assets, producing freedom, independence, and control over your life. Finally, remember this: the journey to wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. The rich dad mindset isn't a destination. It's a way of thinking, acting, and learning continuously. By challenging limitations, expanding your skills, and taking deliberate action, you create a life where money works for you instead of you working for money. The principles Kiyosaki teaches aren't just about finances. They're about freedom, empowerment, and living intentionally in every area of your life. Outro: taking control of your financial future. And there you have it, the life-changing lessons from Rich Dad Poor Dad. Robert Kiyosaki's story isn't just about money. It's about mindset, action, and financial intelligence. From understanding the difference between assets and liabilities, to learning how to see opportunities, overcome fear, and build wealth, these principles give you the tools to take control of your financial life, no matter your starting point. Think about it for a moment. Which lesson resonated most with you today? Is it focusing on acquiring assets, committing to lifelong learning, or taking your first deliberate step toward financial freedom? Each principle is a challenge, but also an opportunity. Small, consistent actions, compounded over time, can transform not only your finances but your confidence, your mindset, and your ability to seize life-changing opportunities. Remember, wealth isn't just about earning more. It's about learning, acting, and thinking differently. The rich dad mindset is proactive, curious, and intentional. It's about making money work for you, not the other way around. It's about taking responsibility for your life and building freedom step by step, decision by decision. Before you go, I want to invite you to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with anyone who wants to level up their financial thinking. Comment below with the lesson that inspired you most. Let us know which step you'll take first. And don't stop here. Explore more audiobooks on our channel packed with life-changing principles, practical strategies, and motivational stories to help you grow personally, professionally, and financially. Remember this: the journey to financial independence begins with knowledge, mindset, and action. Start today. Focus on your assets, learn, invest, take risks, and commit. Your future is waiting, and now you have the tools to build it intentionally.